All rise. Support court with Judge Vonda B is now in session. Judge's case number JVB 2003, Morris case.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You all may be seated. All right, Mr. Morris, you brought this case before the court. What's going on?
Well, I come to you today, Your Honor, because I'm trying to get my child support reduction.
Okay. All right. Based on what? Like, what's going on?
Well, I currently pay $880 a month for child support.
Okay.
I also pay $362 for health insurance. And I see my kids every maybe like 4 times a week.
Okay.
I see them pretty often. And she's trying to take my kids and move off to Florida.
Okay.
And Your Honor, I'm not going for that.
All right. Did she tell you why she was trying to move to Florida?
Because she just want to live her best life.
She said that?
That's what it is. She want to go to the beach, drink coconut balls or whatever they have out there in Florida, and just have her best life.
Okay, wait a minute. So did she actually tell you that, or you interpreting her as living her best life?
Your Honor, why would anybody else want to move to Florida? That's Paradise City.
Well, I mean, I kind of want to move too, but I can't go.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I got to work. So could it be for a job?
You know, Your Honor, I haven't asked, because when she told me that she wanted to move to Florida, I got so upset about the fact of losing my kids that I was like, are you moving to Florida for like vacation time, or just so you can live your best life, or because we in Texas, I'm in Texas.
Mr. Morris kicks off the case asking for a reduction in his 880-month child support. He claims he's active in his kids' lives, sees them 4 times a week, and pays $360 for health insurance. But the real tension? He says the mother of his kids wants to move to Florida just to live her best life sipping coconut drinks. Judge Vonda isn't buying that without facts and calls him out for chewing gum in court, setting the tone that this isn't going to be your average day in court. Mr. Morris gives a vivid and, let's say, creative account of how he and Ms. Adams met. He explains his version of putting in a bid for her in college, like love was an auction. Years later, he's a college football coach who gave in to temptation from a cheer coach. He admits he cheated, says the spark was gone at home, and tries justifying his actions with Sunday sports and lack of massages. It's part confession, part locker room talk, and it doesn't sit well.
I'm a good dad.
So what did she say to that when you said, are you trying to move to Florida to live your best life?
She said, yo, you shouldn't have messed up.
What did you do?
It's a long story, Your Honor. I could tell you how we split up, but I kind of messed up.
Well, I have time. Do me a favor. Do me a favor. I didn't even realize you had gum in your mouth till you start smiling. You know, I don't allow gum chewing in here.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Oh, it's okay. You can just put it to your back of your throat. I'm not gonna tell you to swallow it. I don't think that's really healthy.
Yes, ma'am.
But I have time for the story when you're ready. After you.
It's to the back right now, Your Honor. No more chewing for me.
Okay.
So
continue.
Long story short, I met this lady our freshman year of college.
Okay.
And we were in class, and she was sitting in the front, I was sitting in the back. And I saw her, and I said, man, I'm gonna have to put my bid in as soon as class is over.
Bid, that's what they call it these
days.
Yeah, okay.
we call it put your bid in. Because
right.
I'm sure it's other people that put their bid in too. So if I got the highest bid, of course I'm a getter, you know.
Oh, so you subcontracting these things now?
I was, yeah. At that time I was subcontracting, you know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
Right.
Keep going.
So I saw her in the hall, and I came to her, and my bid won. And we was together for years, Your Honor. We were together for years. We have 2 kids. We have a 5-year-old and a 10-year-old.
Okay.
Throughout the time, and as life just went on, we just started kind of fading, Your Honor. I'm a coach. I'm a football coach at a college.
Okay.
And
Adam steps up and immediately corrects the narrative. She's not moving to Florida for fun. She has a job as a marine biologist, and it's a serious career move. She calls out Mr. Morris for being transactional, pointing out he never even mentioned their children by name. Her tone shifts from calm to cutting, especially when she says, I guess this is just a permanent vacation. This isn't a beach trip. This is about providing for Robert and Madison. Ms. Adams accuses Mr. Morris of overstating his parenting, saying he rarely picks the kids up and mostly checks in via FaceTime. She details her rising expenses, $2,800. rent for a 3-bedroom in Florida, flood insurance, and an $800 monthly grocery bill for their vegan, organic lifestyle. She's not justifying every cent, but laying out a strong case. This isn't about luxury, it's about needs. And she makes sure the judge knows. These kids are not eating off a dollar menu. Next voice, M's.
One of the cheerleading coaches kept hitting on me, and I kept rejecting her.
So you put a bid on her too?
She put the bid on me, Your Honor.
Oh.
Yeah, she put the bid on me. So I gave in to that bid. She had a high bid, and at the time, my lady, she wasn't putting in no more bids on me. She wasn't cooking me dinner. She wasn't massaging me like she used to. She wouldn't even let me watch sports on Sundays, Your Honor, because she wanted to watch The Bachelor. So it just wasn't working, and I gave in to what was going on, and I messed up. She saw my phone. She saw that I was with her a few times, and she left me, Your Honor.
Okay.
She left me.
That was a very colorful story. It's very interesting. I hear the word bid. I think about someone, trying to do construction on my home. So it's just interesting hearing you use that term referring to relationships. Okay, so you don't want her to move to Florida.
No, ma'am.
All right. And you want your child support reduced as a result if she does move? Or
Well,
do you just want it reduced just because?
I just want it reduced just because.
Okay, got it.
I feel like I know dudes that don't see their kids ever and they not on child support. I see my kids multiple times through the week and I'm paying $880 a month.
Okay. Fair enough. I believe I have majority of what I needed. Okay, is there anything else you wanted me to know before I move over to her?
No, that's about it, Your Honor. That's
Okay.
about it.
All right. All right. Ma'am, and give me your last name.
It's Adams with
Ad-
2 D's.
Adams with 2 D's. Okay. All right. Mrs. Adams or Miss Adams.
Thank you.
Okay, Miss Adams. So tell me about, so this story that he told, he actually, you won the bid. Or he won the bid.
Well, I think that tells you everything you need to know about his view of relationships is very transactional.
Oh, yeah. That's the word I was looking for. That's it. Transactional.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
very much
Adams clarifies she could live cheaper in a 1-bedroom, but she's parenting 2 kids, a boy and a girl, who need their own rooms. She runs through utility bills, cell phones, including the 5-year-old's, so she can FaceTime dad, and everyday expenses. The judge challenges the idea of Mr. Morris being an involved dad, especially when parenting seems to be on Ms. Adams' shoulders. It's clear she's holding down the fort and the finances. The judge uncovers a huge problem. Ms. Adams is already planning the move but didn't file to modify the court order. She assumed, based on what she heard, that she could move since Mr. Morris moved just outside the geographic restriction zone. Judge Vonda isn't having it. You can't just Google your way through court orders, she snaps. It's a tough moment. Ms. Adams realizes she may have misunderstood the law and put her move in jeopardy. Next voice, the judge lowers the boom. Since Ms. Adams is moving without legal permission, Mr. Morris is coming off child support entirely.
I do this and you do that, and I think the fact that he didn't even bother to mention our children's names should tell you everything about our relationship.
Well, he told me the ages.
Yeah, well, that's great. Robert and Madison, that's with a Y.
But she ain't asked for the kid.
Okay, yeah, I get it. Anyway, so going back to, evidently I'm just going to Florida for a permanent vacation. I'm actually going for a job.
All right.
So what's that job?
Robert, and I'm going to be a marine biologist.
That's a good job.
When this dream come apart? Because you ain't had this dream when we met.
See, exactly. Do you ever listen?
Miss Adams, Miss
sorry.
Adams, I need you to talk directly to me, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Morris, I've given you an opportunity to speak. Let me hear what she has to say.
You're right,
and
Judge, I'm
people
sorry.
can change dreams. I mean, depending on how long you guys have been apart, a lot could have changed in her life.
It's just she taking my kids, Judge. It's
Okay,
just-
well, let's hear what she has to say.
You're right. You're right.
She said marine biologist, right?
Yes.
That sounds like a really good job, and I want to hear about it. See how much money she makes.
She
all
just
right?
having random dreams, Judge, but it's all
Okay,
good.
that's great, but I need to see how much money she's making.
Right.
Okay?
I'm sorry.
All right.
Yeah, less talking. more listening.
And you do the same thing. All right, now continue.
Jesus.
So I'm taking the kids to Florida because I have a greater job opportunity.
Okay.
And, you know, it's so interesting to me that he says that he sees the kids 4 times a week. I guess he's talking about maybe a FaceTime call or seeing them on his phone screen, because I certainly don't see him picking up the kids and taking them to the doctor and cleaning up vomit in the middle of the night. So it's great that he thinks that that he's paying for the right to see his kids, and that there are people who don't pay child support and who see their kids a whole lot, Judge. That tells you everything you need to know about the transactional nature of relationships to Mr. Morris. So, look, the fact of the matter is, I guess he doesn't realize that his children are gonna need to eat, whether they live in Texas or they live in Florida. And
That's true.
And they're gonna need new tennis shoes and new clothes, and I guess he just thinks that money goes on trees, or that kids just eat for free. It's not how it works. This isn't TGI Fridays. So the cost of living is gonna be higher in Florida.
All right. What are we looking at?
So my rent is going up from $2,000 a month to $2,800 a month.
Okay.
Because I have to have a 3-bedroom, because Robert and Madison need their own bedrooms. And of course, I have to pay for flood insurance and other things like that.
Okay. All right. And you mentioned food.
Yeah. So the kids eat organic.
Okay.
And they're vegan. And so my grocery bill for them is already close to $800 a month.
Okay.
So his opinion that $880 is too much for the kids is wrong. It is a wrong opinion, because your children deserve the nutrition they need to grow up big and healthy and strong, so they can be college athletes like you want them to.
Okay, so Miss Adams, you said that your rent is going up $800.
Yeah.
You have to pay flood insurance. The children's diet, they eat organic food and they're vegan. Okay, so are you using the child support for flood insurance and rent too, or are you?
She makes it clear he must still cover the $362 for health insurance, but the $880 monthly support? Gone. The judge says the money can now go toward travel, so Mr. Morris can still visit the kids in Florida. If he fails to make the effort for 6 months, Ms. Adams can return to request support again. It's a fair yet stern compromise. Mr. Morris says he plans to call Ms. Adams after court to work things out, finally showing a willingness to co-parent like adults. The judge encourages them to find common ground, noting life might bring them back together in Texas. As they're dismissed, there's a sense that maybe, just maybe, this case wasn't just about money or moves. It was about communication, consequences, and putting the kids first. But we'll see if that follow-up call really happens.